Right, let's have a quick partway update. We remove the footrest hanger. You have a little battle with which springs to sort of deal with first. So don't deal with the springs. I think I took top bolt off, release the now I forgot what it is, the master cylinder for the back brake. So that's just floating in midair. Actually, I took that out very early as well. Broke the split pin. You know, you always told get a fresh split pin. What a horrible pin he was to get out. He broke before I even straightened him up. So springs are still in. Then obviously I loosened everything off, and it's easy to get these off once it's in your hand loose. Imagine you got that mounted into there. You can't lift it up because of that one. That's here at the time, I think, somewhere around here. So you can't lift it up. It's like catch-22. Look, he's too long. I'd rather not bend him. See, anyway, you don't have to. Undo all the bolts first. Tip it down. That one comes out. Tip it up. That one comes out. So yeah, have the thing off in your hand. It's not heavy, so it don't pull on anything. Right, so that's the bent lever. I will straighten that for emergencies. And I've got my fresh one there going on. A lot lighter, that one. Well, no, there's not much in it. This is nicer, admittedly, the bit of thing, but I do like that it matches the other one on the other side. All looks good shape-wise. They'll have a little sleeve generally on them, they did on the other one. Right, now if you're ever taking these off, these can be a bit of a pig, and what you've got to watch for, I was saying to my brother about it, that's why I thought I'd record this. Right, I've got to balance my camera to do this. I'm not too sure how I'm going to do that, but anyway, the point is, let's not bother balancing it, I was just trying to get one-handed. That slots in there, and that's the only resistance, is that being in that good gap. So when you're undoing the bolt on the back, it can be incredibly stiff. Obviously you start to release this, don't let it start freeing up, keep it pushed in. It's quite hard to hold everything together on your own, so you're trying to hold while screwing there. This large bore bolt, whatever I put in over there, so it's quite a heavy duty bolt through there. So say keep it tight, because on the other one I was having a bit of trouble getting off, and it was starting to get movement, and obviously the nearer it got to the end, it then started to tear into the aluminium as it was twisting. I mean, it was a nightmare, and what it was it was just full of thread lock. That one come off fairly nice, decent amount of thread lock, but still released all right. What was the other thing to note? Let me just think. Oh yeah, get a set of these. You know, if you haven't got one in your toolbox already. I got it initially for the front wheel. It weren't big enough. I think that was the front wheel. I got another one somewhere even bigger. But anyway, cheap set of them. Because I'll tell you what a difference, you know, to trying to mess with Allen keys it is than being able to chuck that on there. You've got 3 or 4 different sizes to take that off. It's a real pig. Right, I'm moving on. Right. I'll open the back of the camera, so the sound should be decent. I'm going to bang some Amorite over this. It's going to be silver, but it's not really that visible, so I think I'll do around the outer edge. So I'll have to go in there, around there. And once I started thinking about it, I noticed that one on this side and all. That's probably worth doing as well. Although this side's only got a tiny bit of bauble in. Look, under there would be nice. And I'm going to do it with a paintbrush, so I'm going to take it off though with my drill. Right, let's get into this. Then we're going to do some bigger jobs hopefully, like so. Right, why I brush that down, I'll tell you what, it got really hot, and I thought, was it the heat from the engine? But it wasn't, you know. It was the heat of what I was doing. Heated it right up. It's not ridiculous, but it's pretty warm to the touch. Anyway, that's pretty much ready for a coat of paint, that, because it's Amorite straight on stuff. Right, this was never about matching up the looks. It was about the fact that it was covered in corrosion. Overall, at the minute I'm out with that. First coat of the engine was probably a little hot, but also I forgot about these hangers under here, which were rusty as hell. I didn't bother taking the hanger off because the piece you're after is steel mount on the back. Is the camera going to adjust to the light? It don't look like it is. Well, if it would, maybe it is, I'll have a look later, but that's after I've rubbed it off, and this one I've already skimmed over. So it's not the prettiest finish in the world, but certainly practical. Right, let's have a little round up. Balances out at the minute. Not too noisy with the baffle out, actually. Could be a hell of a lot worse. I just realised I forgot to take the camera out again. Bam! New rad, the little washer turned up for the thing, so I stuck the rad on. Totally forgot to show you that. Quite a nightmare actually, because there's a lot of places water hides. Little touch up there, say not for looks. I was going to do that, but too much. Right, we're around this side. Totally painted this one, give it a second coat. Because the first coat, the engine had got a little hot. Where I was sanding it off, I think it made it hot. So I say, rad's all in now, all its proper mounts and stuff. Right, just a quick update, putting the fairing back on. I did give this a quick polish, see how much come out, a bit more wheel, a bit more elbow grease, but I'll tell you the downside to not having the bungs here, when you're putting it on your own, the first thing you do is you hook it round, you hook these on, and then it pretty much holds it in position. Now you could really do with an helper. I had to hang it, and I as quickly as possible got the top nut in, and it's hanging on the top nut at the minute each side. But obviously while I'm trying to put this nut in, the other side is hanging right down. I am going to do a mod. I'm still waiting for some pieces, and I'm going to mod the bottom into a hinge, and I'll put that on YouTube individually, because everyone best V fairing could do with a hinge. And then I'll put a an easy fairing clip in there. Just sort of another note is I have been replacing fairing clips and stuff as I've gone as well, and some other little bolts. But oh, I'll tell you what else, when I put the rad mounts back on, the cheap replacement rad, I had to file the holes out a little bit. They look like they're going to line up with the fairing okay, but the bolt between the two nuts, you know, there weren't enough room. Right, I'm going to screw this up and see what happens. Right, I think that's pretty much it, other than a bit of polishing. That was me wedging it on ice from the grass and all. Now look, this one ain't tight yet, so all they do, we go around the other side, and they I was all aware of it, that they're just going to push onto the rubber. You see they have got a stopper, this section here, which will stop it crushing. You just thread it straight through. What I'll do is, as it gets a bit near, I'll give it a little tug to try and get it in the optimum position, but that's pretty good. But I think I'm going to polish first, then put them on. They'll be in the way. They're pretty much dead centre, which I'm well happy about. The engine sneakily come out quite well, I must admit. And yeah, that one needs tightening up. There did seem to be a bit of a gap there, so I've put a small spacer in and could do a bigger one. Yeah, at the front, we're not where we used to be, but maybe where we used to be was wrong. You see, we had shocking rub in here, so maybe it is meant to be this gappy. It used to be out there and rub on that. They've both gone the same. So, I don't know, it's another little crack I hadn't seen here, look. Not the end of the world, but I say I will get some China ones at some point. I might get the China whole kit. There's a nice matte black and matte black. It looks really nice. Gloss black and matte black sort of patterning. Looks pretty cool. All round up for now. So we've got the pipe done. Levers. They same on each side now. New rad seems to be alright. Refilled with nice new fluids, which it did need actually. Quite a few years old. New front fairing, and I'm perfectly happy with the colour matching, even though officially this is black. I did find it's got a tiny fleck of blue in it, but it's tiny. But it is there. The light we didn't bother with, it had a scratch. It had a scratch from years ago. It got a tiny extra rub, but that's even less than the scratch. And that's about it, I think. Is that everything? Let's hope so. And the crash protector's through the middle. Right, she's looking good again. Right, excuse me. Now, I've just finished polishing as well, so we get a good overview. The bungs are on. So fairing all went on nice. The exhaust looks lovely. I only do a smallish number plate. Don't want one we get. Oh look, I didn't wipe this off. Never mind. It's only where watermarks. So the engine cover I'm happy with as well, although the corrosion was the out of sight stuff. But even inside that don't look too bad. You just didn't have the grey there, and I weren't mucking about. It weren't about looks. It was about functionality. Right, so I better get that puppy out on the road, eh? Or should we have a quick fire up test? We might as well have a fire up, won't we? Get the full impression. Definitely like that new exhaust for the money. I absolutely adore it. Quite looking forward to a driving because I want. I don't know, that sounds about the same as the old girl. Right, that's it for now. Right, I still haven't managed to get it to open up the thermostat, so we'll give it a little ride, see if we can get the temperature up. I can smell rad.